Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV. Back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great weekend overall, man. I'm tapping in with y'all to currently discuss what's going on in the boxing world, man. Lately, I've been pushing one of the biggest fights to be made in 2026. It's going down June 27th at the Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Xander Zayas versus Jaron Ennis, man. I'm excited for this fight. I got my ticket. I hope you guys did as well. And if you did, I'm looking forward to meeting the nation. You feel what I'm saying? Very excited just being Puerto Rican myself. It's going to be great to see a Puerto Rican fighter and a Puerto Rican crowd going up against, a Philadelphian just like myself and Jaron Boots Ennis, who I've had the pleasure of, sharing the gym with on several occasions, having conversations with, just recently. You know what I mean? And he's just a great person overall. Don't know Xander personally, but I can speak on Boots' behalf. Solid individual, man. So all around, I'm looking forward to this fight. It's a big fight for both guys, and whoever wins this fight is going to take their career to the next level. But I was just checking out an interview, man. Shout out to Marcus Hayes over at Fight Hub TV, I want to say. Could be, it's Fight Hub TV. Shout out to Marcus Hayes for putting together a great interview with Xander Zayas. It was about 20-something minutes long, and I did take the time to actually listen to it. And it was a great overall interview, man. It just shows Xander Zayas' mentality, you know what I mean, how he feels going into this fight, what gives him such reassurance and his ability to actually win this fight and stuff like that. And not only did he do that, but he also spoke about what he feels like or who he feels like Boots is as a person. You know what I'm saying? And what I always say is, man, if you really want to know what these fighters are thinking, just let them talk. You know what I'm saying? And that's just with people in general. If you let people talk enough, they'll let you know exactly how they feel about you, somebody else, or a particular situation or a topic. You feel what I'm saying? So I always wanted to know exactly what Xander feels when it comes to Jaron Ennis as a person, or at least as a fighter. He doesn't know him as a person. So, we're going to keep it boxing, how he feels of Jaron Ennis as a fighter and how the way he carries it, because Jaron Ennis is a very confident individual. He genuinely feels like he's the best fighter in the world, and he's attempting to prove that. And so is Xander Zayas. You know what I'm saying? So I thought it would have been a situation where, Xander Zayas kind of sees somebody similar to himself. But after seeing this latest interview with Marcus Hayes, man, I'm actually going to share the screen for the people to see, because he has said something in this interview that kind of caught my attention. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's definitely a different perspective, because I've never seen anybody say this about Jaron Ennis. And me just being around him personally, that's definitely something that I've never drawn from him as well. So this is Xander Zayas' opinion on Jaron Ennis, and I'm going to share this with you guys, and I'm going to know exactly what y'all think in the comments below, and we'll be talking about it on live tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, here goes the interview right here. If y'all want to check it out for yourselves, I'll go ahead and put the link in the description. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'll pin the link to this video in the comments, so if y'all want to go check out the interview for yourselves. Great overall interview. Shout out to Marcus Hayes for putting this together. Now, let's hear what Marcus Hayes asked, and let's hear Xander Zayas' response.
I heard you say something that was very interesting, being an older dude like I am, right? You as a younger fighter have said on multiple occasions that basically you're looking to take Ennis to school, that you got more of a mental capacity than you feel like he does. Where does that come from?
Now, when he's talking about mental capacity, he's talking about, overall ring intelligence. You know what I'm saying? He feels like he could think at a deeper level than Jaron Ennis, and that gives him the overall advantage, especially from a psychological aspect. So when they're talking about that, he's speaking about just who's the more overall intelligent fighter. You know what I'm saying? Now let's hear Xander Zayas' response.
From and what makes you feel that way?
Because I wake up every day and I can look at myself in the mirror, and I don't need 10 people behind me telling me I'm the best. I know I'm the best. I live with that in my head. I go about my business with that in my head. He needs 10 people approval. He needs everybody to approve to him that he's the best. Even in the corner, when the corner is not comfortable, he doesn't look comfortable. When the corner gives him instruction, he don't pay attention to his corner. He's never focused. He needs 10 people telling him that he's the best, that he needs to do this, he needs to do that. When those 10 people run out of options or run out of answers, I will always be there for him. I will always be there for him.
Definitely an interesting perspective from Xander Zayas. I ain't gonna lie, this perspective kind of threw me off guard, because for one, I never heard Xander Zayas say this before. So this is definitely a new idea of his, or at least this is something that he had been suppressing for a while and just brought to the table. Now, He's entitled to his opinion. Maybe he's seen something that we didn't see. Maybe he's seen a side of Jaron Ennis at that press conference that we didn't see. I don't know. But just based off of what Xander Zayas is saying, he's pretty much saying that Jaron Ennis surrounds himself with yes men. You know what I mean? And he doesn't really believe in himself. And because he doesn't believe in himself, he relies on the 10 people that are around him to give him that reassurance so he could deal with his insecurities. Let's keep it real. You know, whenever somebody needs yes men, it's really it's not, you know, it could be because they have like a certain level of arrogance where they just want people to big them up and boost up their ego and stuff like that. But it all comes down to insecurity, people. Like if you're truly secure in yourself, and you know, Xander was saying that he's secure in himself. He could get up in the morning and look himself in the mirror. It takes a certain level of security to do so. What he's saying is Jaron Ennis isn't capable of doing so, which is why he relies on those 10 people, which he just means group of people. Let's just keep it real. His team to boost his head up, tell him that he's the best and things of that nature. And he said when things that pretty much that his team doesn't hold him accountable, that his team pretty much is on his type of time. And even when, you know, his like basically his team's energy is going to determine how the way Jaron Ennis carries it in the ring. So if his team is unsure, Boots is going to be unsure. If his team is uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? So that was his whole take on the situation. That was something that I really picked up on. I didn't see anybody talking about this. So if you see somebody talking about this, just know who they got it from. You know what I'm saying? But very interesting take from Xander Zayas. Now, I'm going to provide my opinion. Like I said, he's entitled to his. But I've never gotten this from Jaron Ennis. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've actually been in the gym with him before. You know what I mean? I've seen sparring sessions. I've seen him just, you know, just training. I've seen basically everything that Boots does in the ring, even down to, you know, strength and conditioning and things of that nature. And, you know, Jaron Ennis doesn't really have a big team. So I don't know. Maybe he wasn't specifically talking about 10 people. I'm assuming that he's talking about his overall team. But Jaron Ennis does keep a pretty small circle, man. Like whenever I see Boots in the gym, I don't see like an entourage of people. You know, I basically will see, you know, Bozy, which is his father, you know, his brothers. You know, I might see Coach Smalls, you know, with him, who I believe is his assistant coach. Might see like his strength and conditioning coach, Coach Altaf, you know, who also was his brother's strength and conditioning coaches. So it seems like it's a tight-knit team over there. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I see Boots hitting the bag or I see him sparring, I'm not seeing people that's going out of their way to massage his ego. You know what I mean? I'm actually seeing people giving him instructions and telling him what he's doing wrong and what he can do to get a better outcome. You know what I'm saying? So I found it kind of weird. And this is somebody, like I said, who has firsthand experience with being around the Ennis team. I found it kind of weird that Xander Zayas was able to come to that conclusion and say that Boots needs yes men around him and that basically he's an insecure individual and his energy is solely dependent upon how his team feels in the moment. Now, I found it pretty weird. And then I was actually listening to Xander Zayas in previous interviews, and he basically said, so mind you, he made the point in saying that, you know, like when his team is uncomfortable, he's uncomfortable. When they're unsure, he's unsure and stuff like that. But then I'm watching previous interviews from Xander Zayas where he's saying that Boots has never been uncomfortable in the ring and that he's going to make him feel uncomfortable. So when I hear that, you know, that Boots isn't truly confident in himself and he needs, you know, his entourage to gas him up so he can feel better or at least feel secure within himself, and even alluding to his team, you know, being unsure or uncomfortable in situations and Boots being uncomfortable. I hear that, right? And then you go around in previous interviews and say that Boots has never been uncomfortable. To me, it just sounds like that's a contradictory, you know, situation. There was a situation where, like, if you're saying that this guy has never been uncomfortable, you're going to make him uncomfortable. June 27th. Nice little headline. I love it. But then you go around and you say that you've seen situations where Boots' team was uncomfortable and he was uncomfortable. Has he ever been uncomfortable or not? You know what I'm saying? That's the question that I posed to Xander Zayas in all honesty, man. And like I said, he's entitled to his opinion. Maybe he saw something after that statement that made him feel that way. However, just having direct direct experiences with the Ennis team, Bozy definitely holds him accountable. You know what I mean? He the OG. He definitely want to see his son do better. I don't really see a father-son relationship there where there's a yes man type situation or Bozy enabling Boots to do, enabling Boots to be an insecure individual. You know what I mean? I actually seen Bozy, criticizing him, making sure that he's doing things right, prioritizing his defense, going to the body, setting up combinations, being more aggressive, going for the knockout. Like I've seen Bozy tell Boots, on several occasions to tighten up his game. I've even heard Bozy infamously say throughout several fights, man, stop playing with him. I don't think that's something that you do when you are a yes man. When you are a yes man, it's pretty much like, just keep doing what you're doing. And that even when you're in a bad situation, you're still telling them that they're doing good stuff. And there's plenty of yes men in boxing. Let's not get it misconstrued. There's plenty of them. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to really go through all of them, but there's a lot of them. I don't think that this is a situation where, Boots is a victim to that or enables his, some sort of insecurity. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to play the video back one more time. You know what I'm saying? And I want you guys to let me know what y'all think about this situation. Do they provide a valid point? Like, is it? Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure this is right. Does he provide a valid point? Is Boots an insecure individual? Does he have a group full of yes men? Y'all let me know. Let me play this one more time.
For Jaron Boots Ennis style.
I heard you say something that was very interesting, being an older dude like I am, right? You as a younger fighter have said on multiple occasions that basically you're looking to take Ennis to school, that you got more of a mental capacity than you feel like he does. Where does that come from, and what makes you feel that way?
Because I wake up every day and I can look at myself in the mirror and I don't need 10 people behind me telling me I'm the best. I know I'm the best. I live with that in my head. I go about my business with that in my head. He needs 10 people approval. He needs everybody to approve to him that he's the best. Even in the corner, when the corner is not comfortable, he doesn't look comfortable. When the corner gives instruction, he don't pay attention to his corner. He's never focused. He needs 10 people telling him that he's the best, that he needs to do this, he needs to do that. When those 10 people run out of options or run out of answers, I will always be there for him. I will always be there for him.
Very, very interesting take from Xander Zayas, man. That was the most standout part of the interview, in my opinion. It definitely caught me off guard because it's simply something that I've never heard before. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what y'all think about this, man. Does Xander have a valid argument? Is this real? Is it not? Do you think he's trying to gas himself up to believe something that's not there? Or may he be on to something about Jaron Ennis that we've never seen before? Y'all let me know in the comments below exactly what it is. Xander says that Boots can't look himself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? And keep it real with himself. He needs 10 people around him, calling him the best. You know what I'm saying? He needs yes men around him. You know what I mean? And, Boots isn't, the most confident person. Pretty much he's saying that his confidence is smoke and mirrors, I guess you would say. Pretty much saying that that's a fluke, he's bluffing, and that he's not as secure and confident as he comes off to be, and that his confidence directly comes from his team. However his team feels, that's how he feels. When in previous interviews he said that Boots has never been uncomfortable. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Is Xander just blowing smoke? Is he on to something? Y'all let me know, man. This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, signing off. Hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.